Hey guys, Steve Watch here, Beaman Toyota in Nashville. I have got to say that there is a website out there that I love just because they put in the work and they do a lot when it comes to research. You know, so obviously there's always like consumer reports and stuff like that. Everybody knows about them, but if you haven't checked them out yet, check out IC. So the letter I, iccars.com. So iccars.com has a bunch of research out there. They do a lot of stuff. So definitely want to give them credit for this information because they put it together. So in an article from a author named Julie Blackley from February 2nd, they're talking about used car prices, which everybody else is talking about too. New car prices, market addendums, used car prices, everything's up, right? But some are up more than others. Some are a little bit different. So now, in her article, Julie says here, used car prices are at record highs in the wake of the microchip shortage. According to the latest study by search engine iccars.com, the average 1-year-old lightly used car cost 1.3% more than its new version. So you didn't mishear that. The 1-year-old used car cost 1.3% more than its new version. All right, and keep in mind they're actually going to have to put in there some of these market adjustments, I'm guessing, but maybe they're just using MSRP, who knows. But however, some lightly used vehicles have had price increases far greater than the average. All right, iccars.com analyzed asking prices from over 1.5 million new and used cars sold from January 1st of 2022 through January 31st of 2022. All right, so that is it. You know, obviously 1 month, right? But it's going to kind of give you a snapshot of what it is. So it identified the top 15 lightly used cars that have the highest price increases compared to their new versions. All right, as well as new cars that are more expensive than their used versions, of course. While choosing a lightly used car traditionally has been a cost-saving measure, which is, you know, what everybody's used to, save a little bit more by buying something that's a few years old, you know, it's not really true in today's market with the effects of plant shutdowns and resulting in pent-up demand and the resulting pent-up demand that continues, right? So the IC Cars executive analyst Carl Brower says the used vehicles that are commanding the highest increases over their new versions include a mix of two extremes: expensive gas-guzzling SUVs and more economical small cars and hybrids, which show that even practical and budget-minded consumers are being forced to spend more for their vehicles. All right, so they put together a list, and I'm going to show you some things on this list, and I'm going to actually expand on this. So because they did the top 15 used cars that are more expensive than their new counterparts, and then they went through with the top 15 new cars that are more expensive than their used counterparts. So both of these lists are telling in different ways, but let's have a discussion about it. All right, so first I'm going to do the top 15 used cars that are more expensive than new, and I'm going to do them from 15 back to number one. Number one is going to be the highest percentage more than a new. All right, so and in that one, I don't think number one will be a shock, but we'll go through here. So number 15, all right, number 15 is the Hyundai Accent. All right, Hyundai Accent is 11.2% more than the used one is 11.2% more than the new one. All right, average used car price more than new, $2,010 more for the used version than the new. And when it says lightly used, I'm guessing that's probably a year old, probably something like 12,000 miles. That would be my guess to that. I don't know their criteria for lightly used, but that's what they're using. So, I mean, if I was to say lightly used, that's probably what I'd say. Less than 20,000 miles, probably a year old, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, but somewhere in there, right? All right, so number 14, Toyota Sienna. All right, that's the minivan, guys. it still shocks me when you hear that minivans on all these lists, the most sought after vehicles, all these things that people are just clamoring for minivans. Okay. But it is on average 11.2% more for the used version than the new, and that puts it at $5,074 more for the used version than the new version. All right, number 13, the GMC Yukon. All right, GMC Yukon is 11.3% more than its used counterpart at $8,258 more than the new one there. So and keep in mind, the order of them was not necessarily based off of price, it was based off of percentage more than new. So it's the percentage up. All right, so you'll see that some of the actual numbers vary on the outside for how much more money, but the percentage is what they're going off of. So number 12 is the Subaru Crosstrek. It's 11.7% more than its new counterpart, and the money on it puts it at $35.24. So those are the dollars priced more than new, and that's, like I said, it's going to be an average on there, I'm sure. Number 11 is the Kia Rio. Kia Rio. That's Kia's pretty much, that's the cheapest, smallest, tiny little Kia. Okay, so 11.7% more than its new counterpart for a used Kia Rio. $2,090 is the number. So, okay. Number 10, the Kia Telluride. Now, I know that those things are going for a mint because people are clamoring for those too, so that is what it is. But the used one, the lightly used one, as they said, 12.1% more than new for the cost on that one, which puts you to an average number of $5,552 more than new if you want a used Kia Telluride. Number 9 is the Toyota CHR. So once again, this is a small car, right? That is 12.2% more for a used one than for a new one. That is $3,230 more for the Toyota CHR. The Toyota Tacoma, this one's not a shock to me. Just isn't. That's number 8 on this list. That's 12.2% more than its new counterpart, and it's $4,530 more. All right. Number 7 is the Chevy Suburban. Once again, not a shock. Those are hard to get as well. The GMC counterpart also is very difficult, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be about the same on this list, although it doesn't list that. It listed the Yukon, like I said earlier. It doesn't list the Suburban. Kind of a little bit shocked there, but I'm guessing that probably would be something similar, but who knows, right? But this one specifically lists the Chevy Suburban 12.9% higher. $9,106 is the money for the extra. Number 6 is the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Those are, they're really hard to get, guys. So the used version, 14.8% higher than the new version. They're just harder to get. You know, if you want one, you're going to save the gas. Hopefully that's going to help you out. But if you can't find a new one, man, sometimes the used one's the way to go. So $5,298 is the money that you'll pay more than a new one for a lightly used one. Number 5 is the Chevy Trailblazer, 15.6% higher than your new counterpart at $4,270 is the money on it. The Ford Bronco Sport. Now, the Ford Bronco Sport has not been out that long, so when they say lightly used, it's going to have to be really lightly used because it's not going to have a lot of time on it. But if you're looking for one on the used market, 16.4% more than new, and $5,766 is the number on there. Number 3 is your Tesla Model 3. That is 17.8% higher than the new version, and it is $8,300 is the actual number on it. Number 2, not a shocker, Chevy Corvette. You want a vet? going to pay for it, especially if it's used here too, guys. So, and this is one of the reasons I'm thinking they're probably going off MSRP, but just be forewarned, I don't believe this is taking into account any type of market adjustment. They're just looking on MSRP and then what it's costing. So the Corvette's 20.2% higher, and it's $16,645 higher for the used one, the lightly used one, than it is for the new one. And number one on this list, the Mercedes-Benz G-Class. No shocker there. The percentage price more than new. Catch your breath on this one, guys. 35.6% higher, $62,705 higher than new. Do those percentages and you'll realize how much they cost new. It's a lot. So that definitely is it's an eye-opener. All right, so appreciate you guys being this long, but I do want to say that I don't believe this is taking into account any of those market adjustments where they're charging more just because they can, adding extra profits, things like that. For most, or actually most dealerships out there are doing that. That's driving up the price of the used one. So if you're going MSRP to the used price, it's going to show a little bit of a difference there, more than what it might show if you were going by average selling price of the new one as opposed to average selling price of the used one. So like I said, it looks like they were going off of MSRP for the new ones. Some of us are selling the new ones at MSRP, but it definitely has a variance there. So now I'm going to show you guys something else that I find very interesting. So appreciate you being here this long. This is going to last just a little bit longer, but got the top 15 cars right here that are more expensive new, or sorry, yeah, that the new cars are more expensive than the used cars. Now this is something that we'll be telling as well, because in a market where all the new ones are, you know, obviously they're you know, rare, right? And the used ones are inflated. If that used one is cheaper than the new one, so, you know, substantially, it could actually tell you something about the perception of that car, right? So just saying, right? Just, you know, we'll kind of go from there, but y'all make your own assessments on it, right? So number 15 on that list is the Nissan Leaf. All right, Nissan Leaf's percentage more for the new one than the used one. Keep in mind, we're doing more new than used. So if I slip up, you know what I mean, more new than used. So it's 10.9% higher for the new one at a cost of $3,704. Number 14, the Land Rover Discovery Sport, 11.3% higher for the new one as opposed to the used, and it's $6,047 higher. The number 13 number is the Nissan Maxima. It is 11.5% higher, and the cost is $5,005, right? And like I said, higher than new. So that's, you know, where the new is more than used, right? So the Nissan Armada is number 12. That is 12.1% higher, $7,834 higher for the new one than it is for the used one. Now, number 11, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. E-Class 12.6% higher for the new one than it is for the used one, which equates to $8,925. Number 10 is the Jeep Cherokee. 12.7% higher for the new one. That equates to $4,547 of actual money. Number 9 is the Mitsubishi Outlander. 14.9% higher for the new one, $4,839 difference between the new and the used. Number 8 is the Volkswagen Golf GTI. That's 15.2% higher. The money is $5,879 less for the used. The Audi A6 is number 7 on this list, 15.6% higher. The money on that is $10,079. So a good time to get an Audi A6. Looks like if you want to get a used one, right? So that is, like I said, it's cheaper for the used one, right? The Nissan Murano is number 6, 15.8% higher for the new one than the used, equates to $7,048 of actual money. The Nissan Pathfinder is number 5, 16.7% higher for the new one as opposed to the used one. That equates to $7,032. Number 4 is the Buick Enclave. The Enclave is 16.8% higher for your new one, equates to $8,932. The Acura MDX, which this one's a little bit shocking because it's, obviously Honda's luxury brand, but it's on this list. The Acura MDX is 17.1% higher for the new one as opposed to the used. Used one is $9,766. Number 2 is the BMW 7 Series. It's 18.7% higher, which equates to $19,206 of actual money, right, for the difference. Number 1, Ford Mustang. Ford Mustang is 19.4% higher for the new one. $9,519 is the difference. So in this the part of this article here says the list of cars that offer the greatest savings when purchased used over new includes a mix of vehicles led by SUVs. Used car prices are not seeing a dramatic drop that they have historically seen due to unique market conditions related to the storage. Used car shoppers can still save money by buying a lightly used car versus a new car with those particular ones, but the savings are about 20 to 30% less than what they would have normally been on those similar cars, I guess. So like I said, this is from iSeeCars.com, just kind of bringing you their information on what their research has told them. Like I said, I got a couple assumptions that I made in there, but I think I'm right on exactly what what I was talking about, of course. But yeah, there's some interesting information in there. Definitely like to bring that along to you guys. Let me know if you guys have a comment on this. Definitely like and subscribe. Hopefully I'm bringing you guys some content that you guys find interesting, right? That's what we're trying to do here. Let's make it interesting. Let's have some fun. But I'm definitely, some of these shocked me. If there's any that shocked you, put them in the comments there and let's kind of talk about it. But a lot of it makes sense. The most sought after vehicles, they're going to be sought after used just like they're sought after new. So and then you kind of turn that around and say the least sought after vehicles will be less sought after used than they are new. Could have a little bit of a difference there. And then sometimes that like maybe on something on the Mustang, there's just certain people that only want the new one. So sometimes that comes into play too, that they're just people that'll just wait till they get the new one. They're not gonna buy a used one. It's just not what they're going to do for that particular buyer. So tell me what you guys think. Steve Welch, Beeman Toyota in Nashville. Love every one of you guys and appreciate you guys for liking and subscribing. And definitely, if you guys are looking for a car, reach out to me here. I'm always happy to help you. I will be your salesperson. A lot of you guys come in, shake my hand, say, hey, love what you do, and then you're working with somebody else. So you can work with me, guys. So definitely reach out to me. Let me know. You can always send me an email at buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. Buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. Steve Welch, Beeman Toyota. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.